All right. Carnivore Soldier coming at you from Austin, Texas. Today we have a special video directed towards first responders and military veterans and active duty. Anyone who's eaten one of these or who needs to eat one of these in their job or their daily survival or whatever you're doing, or packing or camping. So anyone interested in MREs and how to optimize your MRE for keto/carnivore. I will call it ketovore. You can't really go full carnivore, I don't think, on these, but we can definitely do our best. But before we get into that, I just have one question real quick I want to run by you. So, and you can answer down in the comments below, please. So holidays coming up, and the first one, of course, is Halloween. Everyone gets invited to costume parties. I've been invited to some already, and I just wanted to ask you guys, hey, what's the best thing I can go as? A lot of people seem to think that I look like James Hetfield from Metallica, and I just want to run that by you and see what you guys think. Let's take a look. So there's James, and there's me. What do you guys think? Should I be James Hetfield for Halloween? I think I probably should, but I just want your feedback. Let me know. Okay, back to the main deal here. This is an MRE, and this is actually the pork sausage patty, maple flavored. This is actually one of the ones you can eat on a ketovore-ish diet. And this is kind of something you guys might be interested in. This is an old one. I don't know if they still make this one, but see those guys sitting around those guns right there? A lot of people say that one looks a lot like Donald Trump and the other one looks a lot like Kanye West. Take a good look at that. Let me know what you think. Anyway, that's just something that's interesting. So these MREs, we know these are survival food. These are not meant to optimize your performance. They are not meant to get your body running as smoothly as it can. These are meant to last a long time and provide a lot of calories to get you out of a bad spot or get you through a rough spot. In the Army, you go out in the FTX, you're going to be in the field training. You're going to get these. If you're Air Force, you don't. You get like the diner with the steak and the lobster and stuff, right? But in the Navy, you're on your ship, so you get food. But in the Army and the Marines, you're going to eat these. I guarantee it. And also, if you're firefighting, law enforcement, you're out on a long haul position where you're supporting something, you may be eating these too, like a hurricane or whatever. You may be eating some of these as well, because these are meals ready to eat, and they can just go anywhere and require no refrigeration. So what we need to do is the goal of carnivore is to optimize your food. The goal of carnivore on MREs is really just to not lose too much of your gains. But it's really just going to maintain. We're going to put into maintenance mode. So we're going to basically rip one of these apart. And, to be honest, when we go on patrols and stuff, we usually strip a lot of stuff out of the canoe. There's a lot of garbage in there you don't need. And we just pull the best parts of the food that we need and throw the rest away, and it lightens your pack and gives you all the food you need. So there's a lot of junk in there you don't need. But what we're going to do is actually go through and just pull out the high protein, higher fat. It's kind of a low fat thing because the government guidelines dictate what they put in these. So it's going to be the food pyramid. But we're going to basically strip down everything that's high carbohydrates going to go in the garbage, right? And we're going to keep probably some of the entrees and a few of the side packets. We'll discard the rest, and we might have to trade up for some other discards, like trade some muffin tops or some bread or whatever for some cheese, right? And so here's the deal. We're not going to be eating incredibly clean, high-quality foods. We're going to eat the best we can get, and that's the goal. You're going to be reintroducing some seed oils with these cheeses, I guarantee it, but it's better than the alternative, which is just dropping off your diet and continuing to eat whatever's in that thing, because you're going to get the seed oils both ways, right? So you might as well try to restrict what you're eating and use your brain a little bit when you're eating, so you don't lose too much. And we're just trying to get these through these few weeks or this patrol or whatever we're on and get back and eat real food again if we can. All right, that's the idea, to maintain our gains and not lose where we're at. So things you're going to get rid of for sure are anything is sugar, right? That's gone, right, immediately. Bread's gone, crackers gone, peanut butter probably gone. I mean, it depends on you. I would not do it, but a lot of people do because it's keto. So you could do like a ketovore. I would lean towards the cheese and the entrees that are good. And there's a couple we'll go over in here. That's kind of what I would do. And then the other thing is, we're going to talk about things you can supplement. You can bring in the field with you that require no refrigeration, that have a long shelf life, that you can bring with you and supplement your MREs, or even replace them in some cases for certain meals, right? You can actually bring some different things in and actually either add to your MREs to add fat content and high quality calories, basically, or you can actually supplement and just replace a meal with some of these things. So some are cheaper, some are expensive. It's going to take some proactive work on your side and some planning, but this totally can be done. When I was in the active duty, I actually did go keto. I didn't do carnivore back then, and when I went keto, I would replace some of these things and discard a lot of stuff out of these MREs. So I've done some of this before, but now that I'm carnivore, I'm much more critical, and I think I've narrowed it down to 4 MREs that we can take the entrees out of and then trade for cheese, a lot of cheese, I think, and maybe peanut butter. It depends on you. I wouldn't do peanuts just because, plants are trying to kill you, right? Like Dr. Chafee says. So let's just jump right into this right now because I think this is pretty exciting stuff. So to start off with, we're going to look at a website that I found called CHAMP, and it is part of the Army Human Resources, I believe. I'm going to go ahead and bring it up right here. So CHAMP basically tells you what's in all these MREs. So we can actually look at each one at the different series. I'm going to be looking to the side here because I'm checking out the CHAMP site. But you can see there's the 2018 and the 2019 series here that you can look at. And there's also different, cold weather and different kinds of first strike rations, different ones, depending on what you're stuck with. Most people are going to get these first 2. They're your standard MREs. And then we can actually look at each one and kind of see. So you guys can do some of this research yourself. You don't have to just take my word as gospel. Now, I have done a lot of the research, and I will have a sheet with what I think you can get out of the 4 MREs that are the best for you. And then I will also have links to things that you can purchase to augment and supplement to your MRE meals to add the fat. And I'm going to try to attach those. Those will be in the description, a lot of them, of this video. And I'll also try to attach those on my website. And I'll put a link to that so you can get to my website possibly and download that list, that MRE list. So that will be a good list for you to start out if you're getting ready to go in the field where you can prep. Okay, so what we can do is we can look at these and we can say, all right, let's just take a look at the barbecue beef, pulled barbecue beef. We'll see how good that is. Okay, so we can look right here that we've got a very high amount of carbohydrates here on the entree, right? So we definitely don't want something like that. And I don't know, you can't really sort by carbohydrates, but you can go into the cheese spread and you can see down here, this is why cheese is a good discard for you to get. 2 grams of carbs and a lot of calories. So that's good. That's going to be fattier than, it has low carbs, so it should be fattier than some of the other things you want. So I always go for the cheese. Bacon cheese is the best, I think. It's the lowest carb, but you can go with the jalapeno or the standard cheese spread as well. So yeah, you can look at these and then you can just hit back. That's barbecue beef, chicken noodles. We don't want that. Spaghetti, definitely not. Chicken chunks. This is one of the ones you can actually go with. And look at the carbohydrates here. This is the way to go. This is a low carb meal right here. So you can grab this whenever you can get chicken chunks. That's probably that and the beef patty are your go-tos on this thing. So yeah, you can look at these and kind of figure out in advance which ones you want. Make a list in your little notepad that I know every good soldier has because you're always taking notes and put it in your pocket, right? Make sure you use waterproof paper though, because when you get rained on, it's a bitch. So make sure you get some notes on there and figure out what your strategy is going to be come MRE time. Try to get to the MRE boxes early. Try to pick the best MRE you can. If you get a bad MRE, try to trade up or trade down, trade sideways to get one that you can actually eat from. So I think the 4 that I identified that were the best are your beef patty grilled jalapeno. That's great. Your white chicken chunks. That's really good for you. You can go with the lemon tuna, which, it's kind of a low fat, but it's high protein and 0 carbs. So that's a good one. And then the last thing you might want to consider would be the breakfast sausage. I showed you here. This is the pork maple sausage, or they actually have an unflavored one too, which might even be better. But you can actually get the sausage too. Now the problem with the breakfast ones, the sausage, they don't come with cheese, so you're gonna have to trade syrup and other things for the cheese to get that into your diet. A lot of the other ones do. The other ones I talked about do come with cheese, which is great. I don't know if the tuna one. I think tuna one comes with mayo, which I would not use unless you have to. I do have alternatives for that we can talk about in a minute, but those are the main ones. So it's gonna be a grilled beef patty, it's gonna be your chicken chunks, it's gonna be your tuna, your chunk tuna, and then your pork sausage breakfast one. Now there is one other one that's like an honorable mention that you might consider, and that would be the Mexican style chicken stew. But that one's pretty high carbohydrates. But I mean, if you're stuck and you're starving, definitely go for the Mexican style chicken stew. That's not terrible. The rest of them I would just stay away from. So when you get going, look for these MREs. If you have friends that are in supply, try to squirrel a couple away so you have good food, or like I said, try to trade around and try to get what you want out of them. So that's the MREs you can go with there, and you can look at on that website I shared. You can look at all the macros and such. I'm not a big macro counter or anything, but listen, you're just trying to survive. You're trying to not lose your gains, and this is the way to go. Okay, so in addition to this, I'm going to go ahead and switch back and share a screen of my notes for this so you can see kind of what I'm doing. This is going to be the sheet that'll be available as a link on my website for first responders and military. All right, so now you can kind of see what I'm sharing here. So in addition to those MREs at the top here, you can see that there's discards to trade for. And in the discards to trade for, I have the cheese, possibly the meat snacks. Look at the carbs and make your own decision. They're pretty terrible. I think they're chewy and they're hard, but they're your least worst options, right? And then possibly peanut butter, although I would try to steer away from that. So now what things can we supplement our meals with? And I'm gonna have links for all these. So you don't have to write down their names or anything. I'm gonna look at some of them while we're here. So you can see, Redmond real salt, of course, you're going to want to salt because you're going to be sweating a lot. So you need salt, and get some quality salt in there. I would go with that. There's portable shakers. Here is a link for that. Then there's portable ghee. So ghee is clarified butter. The wonderful thing about ghee is it gives you all the proteins, all the nutrients you need and the fats, and it's shelf stable and not refrigerated. So you can put it, and these are in squeeze bottles. So you can actually just bring a squeeze bottle and squeeze it into your tub of tuna or tub of chicken and add fat to your meal right there on the fly, and then mix it up and eat it, and it'll taste good. It'll help you add fat to your diet. And worst case, you could actually eat the ghee straight too. We eat butter. I eat butter. So, I would eat ghee. I would squirt it right in my mouth and eat some if I wanted. If I was feeling low energy and needed some pick me up. Okay. So I got a couple links for different squeezable ghees you can bring. And then we have pre-cooked chopped bacon. So you can get that in any grocery store. It doesn't require refrigeration. It's all pre-cooked. Go ahead and eat that. That's good. You can sprinkle that into your pouches as well, or just eat it straight. Then you have canned butter. Now, canned butter is pretty expensive. I would probably go with the ghee over canned, but because it's canned, it is, much more durable to be put into a pack or out in the field. So it's an option and it's out there. I just wanted you guys to know about that. Then there's butter powder. Again, if you're in the field and weight is consideration, then you might want to go powders because they're lighter. They still carry all the nutrients you need. So butter powder, you could sprinkle into an MRE. You could put it on whatever you want. Or even straight in your mouth, you want to eat some butter powder. So that works too. Okay, then we have egg yolk powder. Again, another excellent source of protein. Just make sure these are pure. Now, the ones I'm linking are pure. There's not a bunch of junk in there with these. So egg yolk powder has got lots of fat. So you can get the full egg powder, but I think the egg yolk just gives you the extra fat you need, especially considering you're going to be getting your adequate protein, because these are high protein, low fat meals that the Army's providing. So you're going to have plenty of protein, I think, if you do these. You just had to add the fats. Okay, sardines in water. If you're not a sardine eater, check it out. They're not bad. I used to take these in the field with me all the time when I was keto. This is something I actually took. This and the ghee. I took the ghee with me, and I used to have these little individual pouches of squeezable ghee that you could put in. Now I haven't seen those anymore. I looked for them. All they have is the bigger containers, like 7 ounces, but these were like ½ ounce, I think, or something like that. So, but you can definitely squeeze these in. Like, get some ghee and squeeze it in with tuna, and whip it up instead of mayo, and you're going to have a really good meal out of that, right? But yeah, so I did that, and I did sardines in water. You don't want sardines in oil because they're always in the cheapest seed oil out there, and it's really bad for you. So you need to avoid seed oils. You're already getting seed oils in your diet if you're eating the cheeses and other things there, the spreadable cheeses, and just minimize it. Don't dive in and just start eating seed oils everywhere, because you don't want that. It's going to cause inflammation. All right, it is. We're trying to minimize our losses here. Okay, so we have tuna in water. Again, this comes in an MRE, but nothing's stopping you from buying pouches of tuna and a squeezable ghee and making your own, so you don't even have to have an MRE. I used to do that too. I used to bring a lot of tuna pouches with me, and I would even get some of the flavored ones, although they're probably not the cleanest. And when I was keto, I didn't care. If you're going carnivore, look at the ingredients. If it's got more than 4 ingredients, question it. Question whether you need to really have that flavor in there, right? So maybe you just want to go with the tuna and some ghee and some salt, and that might be all you need. That'll give you a really good meal if you do that. Okay, beef snacks. Now, beef sticks snacks. I've been eating some of these chomps. They have them online, but also at Costco. They're pretty good. They're pretty clean. As a lot of the doctors will tell you, this is better than eating any of the junk out of your MRE. These are not super clean, but they work. They will maintain you. So this is, they do have more than 4 ingredients, but they are 100% grass-fed, grass-finished beef. There's, they're very minimal in all the bad stuff. So you can do with like these chomps. I have a couple links to some beef sticks in here. And then, of course, beef jerky. And you can bring that as well, too. That's another thing, so of course, the beef jerky, the pork jerky, whatever other things you want to bring, the sausages, just try to keep them clean as possible. Try to not get the flavored ones. Minimize the other ingredients, maximize the fat and protein intake. And, so try to get the clean as you can. So you have to do some investigative research. If you just go with my links, you'll probably be fine. If you want to find other things, go ahead and check them out. So anyway, that's really it. So what we're doing is we're picking the top 4 MREs that you can find that actually have food that you can eat, and then stripping them down, pulling out the entrees and pulling out the sides like cheese or the things, the meat stick kind of things, and just trying to go with the lowest carbohydrate you can get. And then we're going to supplement with these things, with ghee. We're going to supplement with possible egg yolk powder. We're going to buy some of our own things, like we're going to get some sardines. We're going to get some tuna. We're going to add this to our pack, and we're going to bring it with us and make our own little MREs kind of. And then, when we get our MREs, we'll trade away our cookies and our muffin tops and our pound cake and all that stuff, and try to get cheese and other things that we can eat. And if you eat 2 or 3 cheeses, there you go. You're getting a lot of calories, getting a lot of fat. Again, we're staying away from seed oils whenever we can. So we are bringing our own things too. Like I said, instead of doing mayonnaise, which is going to be full of seed oils, you're going to use ghee or something like that with salt. Make sure you salt things, because you're going to be sweating a lot. So this is the way we operate. I'm sure you guys, if anyone's been in the field and has experience doing this or has ideas, please drop in the comment below some of these ideas, because people are going to be using this video in the future too, going forward, as more and more people go carnivore, especially military. And I've got several active duty that are asking me these questions. This will become a helpful repository of knowledge where they can go and look and get ideas, right? Or maybe they can share success stories of, hey, this is what I did and it worked, right? Or this is what I did and it didn't work. And also, while you're at it, join our Facebook group, especially you military guys, because we have a lot of people in there, and we can actually start sharing stories. Some of us are old soldiers, some are old sailors, some are old, a lot of vets, but a lot of civilians too. And, it's not just for vets, because civilians go hiking and camping, and they may want or need to survive on survival food, and they may have some of this stuff too. So anyway, that's all I got on this. Please, if you like my content, please like and subscribe to the channel. Ring that little notification bell so you get all the latest updates. I'm posting a new series called Mission Carnivore starting this week, where I'm interviewing only first responders and veterans. And we're talking about how carnivore has affected them both physically and mentally, and how it's optimized them and the changes it has made in their lives. So if you know a veteran or you are a veteran, please tune in. These are going to be really good discussions. They're going to be meaningful talks that apply to you or to a loved one or friend that is a veteran or first responder. So, everyone talks about the weight loss in this diet, right? Well, I got to tell you, veterans and first responders have an unseen weight on them, and it's on their shoulders. It's on their mind all the time. You can't see it, but it's there. I guarantee you. And this diet helps lose that weight. And that, to me, is even more important, I think, than the physical weight. The physical weight's awesome. I mean, I've lost 44 pounds, 45 pounds. That is amazing. But the mental weight that's off me is way better. And I just want you guys to, spread the word on this. Let's get a lot of veterans involved. And if you are a veteran and you're willing to share your story, I'd love to interview you on this Mission Carnivore series. So reach out to me at carnivoresoldier@gmail.com. All right, everybody. Until later, stay strong and overcome. Carnivore Soldier, out.